Spooky music makes me wonder if I'm still watching Loki, or if I've somehow switched to watching a Blumhouse production sequel that's come back from the future to tell us no one asked for it. I'm honestly not sure which I'd rather be watching. I guess it depends on the film. Exorcist 3, this time with more peas? No. Buy Five Nights at Freddy's, get the sixth one for free? Still no. The time explosion from the previous episode seems to have just erased all the people, and the only possible explanation at this point seems to be time works like that here. But what is time? And what is that? And what is here? Stay tuned for mostly non-answers to those questions and more. Loki will then go on to assess the damage by checking only the most important places, like all the curved hallways and the automat. Was the goal to bring us back to this control room so many times this season that in the end we'd be happy to see it turned into spaghetti? This fake not Casey works for any amount of the concept formerly known as time. I'm just realizing that in every timeline we've visited in this series, the cities all have names we're familiar with. And I didn't know I needed it till now, but damn it, I want Nanor and Risco Olafoldage. Revealing Casey as one of the three men who may have successfully escaped Alcatraz in 1962, but failing to throw proper shade at the fourth inmate who fumbled the ball so hard that he didn't even make it out of his cell. That's Alan West erasure, and you can bet your Alcatraz that I won't stand for it, even if he would prefer that not be his legacy.
If they catch us, they're gonna cut us like fish.
Fun fact, Alcatraz started off rough, but in the 50s, things had softened quite a bit. Prisoners could play musical instruments, watch movies on weekends, paint, and listen to the radio. Now, if you'd attempted this escape in the 1930s, maybe, but in 1962, no chance.
Casey, thank God you're here.
Is Casey here? I can't see Is this scene about escaping Alcatraz or fighting ice zombies outside Winterfell?
Who are you?
Who am I? Casey, it's me. Please tell me you know who I am.
This show has been about time travel, multiverses, and variants the entire time. Why is this so baffling for the god of mischief? Not letting us know how many Big Macs you need to shell out for this much screen time. Unfortunately, since it's upside down from your patient's perspective, this is basically useless. Just like all those Herbalife products I bought to sell in 2009. I'm in so much f***ing debt.
Well, they say the personal watercraft is kind of the thinking man's dirt bike.
They are dumb.
Come on, you ready for your Poseidon moment?
Introducing the Olympians into the MCU with his lazy-ass Easter egg, thinking we'd enjoy this wacky-waving, inflatable arm-flailing Asgardian more than answers about what the f*** is going on.
I think you mean ATV, and no, you're in luck. We got in 2 of them last week.
Okay, so why weren't you trying to sell one of your ATVs to the guy who was
more interested in a dirt bike.
Sure, it's not the same as a dirt bike, but it has infinitely more wheels than a Sea-Doo. This bookshelf has not been organized by title, author, or genre, and there are 2 copies of Ghost Rider not even next to each other. Heathens!
Science fiction is a well-respected and thought-provoking genre.
Well, nobody buys it here.
Are you sure? In 1994, nobody's buying Isaac Asimov or Ursula K. Le Guin. You run a bookstore, but nobody's buying Michael Crichton novels. I call bullshit. It's those post-it notes from the end credits. That must mean... Wait, why am I supposed to care about any of this? Since Obi's workshop is also on a lower level of the TVA building, this means it has to be located somewhere near Pasadena. And we will never discuss why or how that's even possible.
What I'm about to tell you is going to be hard to believe.
Why? You gonna tell me that Marvel blew $250 million on a Samuel L. Jackson-led spy thriller series and it kinda sucked?
I had to get a PhD to keep my day job teaching theoretical physics at Caltech.
Ain't no way you're affording rent on this giant-ass hangar and paying for an independent printing of your books on an adjunct professor's salary. It's the biggest piece of fiction in this science fiction series. You couldn't even afford the power bill for this place on that kind of salary.
I don't understand what you've just said.
Loki is everyone watching this episode at TVSins.
With science, it's all what and how. But with fiction, it's why.
Scene does not contain a who, and I don't know, an Abbott and or a Costello.
If I can't save the TVA from being destroyed, there will be nothing to protect against what's coming.
What is coming exactly? I'm pretty sure it was mentioned somewhere between 30 seconds and 400 years ago, but I may have been tying my shoe at the time.
If that's the real why that's guiding you, you should be able to control it.
Not since Doctor Strange told America to just believe in herself and control her interdimensional powers have I seen such a believable moment of someone trying to use a new ability in the MCU. Also, I'm not sure if it's a literal or metaphorical abyss that this show's creating, but I can feel it staring at me.
But then you said you also time travel in a place at the TVA, right? If that's the case, then maybe the place and time you're looking for still exists, but you just don't know where to look for it.
Show's now circled back to discussing whether or not time works like that, and I'm realizing Mobius strips might not be as fun as I initially thought.
Hold this.
Yeah?
We get the band back together.
That doesn't seem very scientific.
They've certainly used a lot of temporal fabric to weave this story in a direction that allows science to just not matter. But if science doesn't matter, then matter doesn't matter. And if matter doesn't matter, then the fact of the matter is...
That means a group of people would have a collective aura unique to that moment in time.
This plan didn't require a mug and pins to make it any less understandable.
What if he had that knowledge?
That's twice now plot points in this season have centered around someone from the TVA traveling to the past to deliver a handbook to an inventor who will then use that knowledge to invent a time gizmo. And that's officially too far past the line of timey-wimey bullshit for me to tolerate without a TARDIS.
How did he get burnt?
Kids.
And if you keep him from burning down the house, I'll get you a puppy.
Using a puppy as a motivational reward when you're at work every single day and your two boys can't even be bothered to pick up their toys in the yard, the poor animal will grow up neglected.
Ordinarily, I wouldn't dream of parting with one of these beauties, but wife is long gone and I can't ride two of them.
Joe fails to specify if Mobius's wife is dead or divorced or both. And I'm going to need to know that so my fan fiction can be as lore accurate as possible.
How did you build a tempad so fast?
It's time travel, Loki. It's been f***ing time travel the entire time. Also, Loki should be much more interested in the fact that Dr. Doug found this place and this time without an Apple Aura tag.
I had to take a break and move out when I lost my job and my wife left me.
Okay, but finishing a device that allows time travel should allow you to get those two things back theoretically, right? I mean, I'd take an ex-partner back if they showed me a functioning time machine. I am pretty easy to please, though. I once got back together with an ex because they brought me Olive Garden.
I promise you this will make sense.
I do not believe you.
I can bring you back to any point in time. It'll be like you never left. Your boys won't even know you're gone.
Loki leaves out the possibility of becoming pasta and how that might make returning a little difficult.
Of course I know who you are.
What? You do?
Why wouldn't I?
Because nobody else did.
Show will not even attempt to explain how Sylvie managed to retain her memories even though she wasn't the Loki chosen to do the electrical time slip and slide. Would have expected a show about a god to contain more omniscience and fewer omissions. And I crave understanding more than I crave Easter eggs.
Mobius always said the TVA was the only life he'd ever known, and he liked it.
Loki says F you to the allegory of the cave. Plato is very disappointed.
He who remains did that.
Damn, that name's a mouthful. How have they not given him a nickname with fewer syllables yet? I don't know. Something simple like Carl, maybe. Loki looking good in a shirt and tie cliche. How in the name of no one was operating the temp computer did that time door just open? We'll hear Oh Sweet Nothing when Sylvie starts playing this record, even though she'll drop the needle on the first song, and we can see it listed as the last one on this side of the record. And to be clear, any universe with tracks listed in reverse order would be sent accordingly as well. Also, this might be the best scene in the entire season thus far. Sylvie kicks back as she tries to put her mind at ease listening to a fantastic song from Velvet Underground. All the while, the universe is imploding around her. It's visually awesome and poetic. I guess even a broken timeline's right once an episode. Go ahead, take your sin back.
You're all just fine without it.
No, they aren't.
Sylvie, there's no possible way for you to have any idea what they're talking about. Unless this is your second attempt at this entrance and you're now just making unnecessary time branches for the sake of dramatic timing. As we watch all these characters turn into human koosh balls, the episode wants us to feel something about their second disappearance in 2 episodes when that fact alone means there's a good chance that they're coming back. The true loss would have been if we got to experience more than just a day in the life of OB, Mobius, and Hunter B-15, so we fully understood what they were sacrificing to be here. Or with Casey, there's a strong chance he was just going to die in the San Francisco Bay anyway. What if his abduction into the TVA saved his life? There was so much more to be mined from this story that got left on the scriptural loom. His knees are weak, his palms are sweaty. Something time spaghetti. Horrifying, thanks. I don't care how much of a zaddy Tom Hiddleston is. You unhinge someone's jaw like that without warning, and I'll be seeing that image when I'm trying to sleep at 3 a.m.
It's not about where, when, or why. It's about who.
The first baseman?
Oh, not this again?
Who are you?
Who am I? That's the real question, isn't it? Who am I? Who are you?
Ah, one of those guys.
Reality isn't what you think it is.
You've been living in a dream world, Neo.
What were you calling me?
The moron.
I want a life. I want to live. We're all writing our own stories now.
Now go create yours.
What about the TVA?
TVA.
I miss the idea of it.
The pens. We have all the pens.
You should write a book.
I did it.
What?
Poop my pants.